I kind of want to go through in Krusty's Corner some of the things that I'm going to be looking at, and I'll get your guys' take on this, and maybe
bucket steps,
punch,
drive, climb.
General Man, I'll tell you what, you've got your game on already. Yeah. I'm really proud of you for picking all that up, but I just want to run through a couple of things here, and a lot of it has to do with maybe some guys that, well, one of them for sure is not so much Tyron Smith, but I'm interested about Lyle Collins. And because of the hip injury, what I want to be able to see from Lyle Collins is he's lost weight. You could obviously see he's slimmed down. The OTAs, the mini camps, he physically looked good, did not do anything out there at those practices. But what I was able to see from him, he physically looks good. Now, what I want to see is how does he get away from the line? Because with your hip, you when you're offensive tackle, you're down, you're crouched, you get your knee bend, and you're using your hips and your lower body to drive yourself away from the line to get into some pass sets. And I'm really interested to see when they get into the one-on-one stuff, whether he's able to, how he sets, is he able to get out of his stance to get wide enough? I mean, he's going to go up against some guys. When you talk about Lawrence and Gregory and those guys. And
I want to see when he goes against the young guys because they're going to realize NFL strength is different and Lyle Collins' strength is different than NFL strength. He's got that rare you get
type
locked up.
Yeah, big hands and the ability to sit down. And I'm interested to see how that hip.
Does he still have the agility?
Yeah, does he still have the ability to kick away from the line and get wide enough to win when those rushers tell him he's engaged and he's on in that. I'm interested to see how Jabril Cox and I'm not so much. I think Jabril Cox will be fine with the coverage stuff. We'll be out here and we'll be pointing it out. Probably be on the field when they do some one-on-one stuff, covering backs out of the backfield, covering tight ends out of the backfield.
I think he'll be the sort of dude that at one point during a practice, we'll see, when they do the compete period, like they'll call out Blake Jarwin and they'll call out Jabril Cox.
Yeah.
And because it'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. But I'm more interested to see how he plays the run.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, because I know he can cover. I know those one-on-one experiences he has with all the positions that I mentioned. But how is he playing when the ball's coming at him? That's the biggest questions I had from him coming out of LSU is when the ball is at him, is he able to disengage off blocks and get in on plays? How does he play with his hands? If he doesn't do that, then it's going to be he then becomes really a one-dimensional player. Because it's like, okay, all we can use this guy to do is cover. The quicker that Jabril Cox can play with his hands, get off blocks, and play the running, make tackles, the quicker he's going to be on the field.
Pretty rough.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough coming in.
It was. And Jeff, you watched him at LSU too. You kind of saw him like jump around blocks and stuff like that. And then when you jump around blocks, you create gaps, you create holes, and you get washed. And he was giving up some stuff, those inside runs and stuff.
And you got to shove that dude and then spring to the side real quick.
You got to grab that guy. You got to stone him right there and then disengage to go find the football. And so it's not about how he can cover, because I know that. How does he play the run? If he does it quickly, he becomes a more complete run-pass player. He'll be on the field a lot faster. If not, then he's going to be a guy that's going to be inactive every week.
That's your opportunity to get a lot better in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I talked about it earlier with Brad when he was with us, was Dak's mobility. And I mean mobility from the way of when Dak Prescott, we talked about Lewis still on the show, I think it was yesterday, about Dak and that ability to move. And when he's part of the game, I feel like when Dak is the guy that's like he's running, he's sweating, he's involved.
Say the words you want to say.
No, he's
boots and waggles. No, you want to say it.
No. I mean, the boots and waggles and stuff will tell you about the mobility stuff, because his strength has been his ability to throw the ball on the move. But I want to see if he's going to get in that mode where the mobility is not. He's not going to be worried about running. I mean, I want to see him, because when Dak is part of the game, I think he's so much better when he's got a little blood on him, when he's sweating a little bit, when he's he feels the flow of the game. I think that's when Dak Prescott, and I hope that this injury hasn't taken that away from him. I still want to see that ability to get outside. If he doesn't see it, then take off and go. Of course, they're not going to hit him, but you could see how quickly he can get to the outside and make those throws. So I think that's something that's really, really going to be important here. Real quick, I want to see how the defensive line responds to Adrian Durdee, the new defensive line coach. This is a guy that came, he was born in London, and Dan Quinn handpicked him. He was an international coach. Dan Quinn handpicked him in Atlanta, brought him with him to Dallas. He was the one coach that he said, listen, I want this guy to coach my defensive line. He's a really, really young coach, but he's a coach. He's English is
awesome.
What he is. So we'll see
Get him on the show.
Yeah, we'll see how they respond to him after last year with Jim Tomsula. I thought that was an absolute mess. And then finally, though, which one of these rookie defensive backs handles the pressure of training camp the best? We've seen with their ability, we've seen the OTAs in minicamp. This is a totally different beast out here. Will these young guys, will it be too much? Will the pressure of having to cover, and if they make mistakes along the way, bury them? If we see a lot of these young defensive backs head down the entire time and struggling with all that stuff, these veteran guys are going to play. If the young guys are able to keep the heads up, have some good reps in these practice, handle the training camp pressure, you'll probably have one or two of them maybe be a starter or either play significant roles in the secondary.